The other day, we improved the workspace. I love this new table that I have. It's the big sorting table. Just got to go through there and pick some parts. I was picking some out of there this morning. No, I'm lying. I wasn't. I've been meaning to do that. But I've also been meaning to take care of this next evolution of the Lego studio. It's going to be so cool. Hey, if you hear my neighbors, don't mind them. They're making a bunch of racket. I waited 15 minutes for them to stop, but they were like, no, we're not stopping. So yeah, I set up this table over here, and I wanted to set up a new workstation. And that involves the things that are within these massive boxes on my desk here. We've got 2 3D printers, a bunch of filament, and some accessories for those 3D printers. Bamboo Lab reached out to me and they wanted to send 2 3D printers. How cool is that? I think 3D printing and also Lego is going to go hand in hand. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. First thing you've got to do is unbox and set up these printers. I've always been intrigued by 3D printing. And here we are. We've got 2 3D printers ready to go here for the Lego studio. Before I unbox them, first thing I've got to do is actually remove them from this desk. They're pretty heavy. Look at that. It's bowing. The majority of the weight is found in this box right here. That's where all the filament is. We've got a ton of filament, and I plan on taking on some huge 3D printing projects. I'm going to start by unboxing the Bamboo Lab A1 Mini Combo. Well, of course, it came really well packaged. It was actually interesting. They shipped and arrived at my door within 2 business days. The instructions were super easy to follow, making it really easy to set up. It's just calibrating right now. Oh, this is going to be so cool. I got the Mini all set up and I was like, okay, I want to start printing. So I cracked open the box of filament and then I realized this isn't all the filament. I've got a lot more coming. It's arriving via FedEx tomorrow. This is just like the refills. So I'm unable to print right now. I didn't realize that these were just the refills. I could have cracked this open and figured that out right away. But I've got various colors coming so I can print a lot of cool things for Lego storage. And I also have a special project involving a Lego droid and a Lego blaster as well. But I've got a ton of filament on the way. This is a ton right here. It's 12 kilograms, but there's a lot more coming. Either way, I've got another printer to set up here. This is the Bamboo Lab A1 Combo. It's the bigger of the 2. I'm going to put that right beside the Mini, and then when those spools arrive, I'll have the ultimate printing setup ready to go. Got the big boy all set up here. It turns out I had to upgrade my table. There was not enough space for both printers. Look at that. It's just insane. This is so cool. I cannot wait to see them in action. So if this is going to be the 3D printer setup, well, I need to make some changes. I want to go get some cabinets, maybe some drawer units, put them underneath because that would make this look way cleaner. It doesn't look that good, like all this hoard underneath here. Find a new area for my trash bin and recycle bin, and then I can put some cabinets under there with all the supplies. It's doing a vibration test right now. I also should replace these wheel legs with the ones with the adjusters on the bottom to make sure that this surface is perfectly level, and then I want to tidy this up as well. I just got some good news. The other parcel was delivered to my house, so we'll be 3D printing in no time. So I ripped over to the studio this morning with the box. I didn't even have my coffee yet. I was like, okay, I want to get this printer set up. Let's get going. So as you can see, I've got a lot of white filament. I decided to get mostly all white. Each one of these boxes is 1 kilogram of filament. But I also got tan and black for a special oversized Lego project. Even though all of these prints that I would do are going to involve improving the Lego studio and Lego itself. But look at all the colors that you can get. These are the color tiles. Each printer came with a set of color tiles. That's all that you can get right there. That's wild. There's so many different colors, and boring old Bricksie just got 3. But I'm about to do my first print here on the A1. It actually came with a micro SD card, which is preloaded into it and has all these prints preloaded into it. So all you have to do is load your filament, which I already did, just the white one, and then start printing this stuff. Also, each printer came with this little kit. This one here is for a clock. Look at that. You can build a clock. 3D print a clock. That's neat. And this one here involved the boat. So you can 3D print the boat model. So the printer came with this blade, and it also came with these 2 screws, and it says for scraper. And look at that. You can 3D print a scraper. So I am going to do that. Apparently it's 37 grams. It's going to take 1 hour and 20 minutes. Bad leveling all that. I think I just hit print. That is so interesting. It says it's 7% done. I'm just gonna sit here and stare at it until it's done. No, I'm just kidding. That's the cool thing though. You can set this up, get it printing, and then go walk away, take care of some other stuff, build something, organize something, whatever it may be, brew a coffee, and then when you come back, you're gonna have something pretty neat. I'm excited. You know what? I failed though, because all of these ones here, there's one other one with a spool. That's the black one. I should have ordered more white with spools, or at least 2, because now I can't have white printing on this printer. So you can order the filament as refills, which I did, with 1 spool, but I didn't think to order 2 white spools. Why wouldn't I do that? So I'm gonna have to order one of those so I can get both printers printing white at the same time. It's just chipping away. Another cool thing about these printers is they actually have a camera built in, right there. That's a camera. It's actually filming a time lapse of this print, and it can film a time lapse of everything that it prints. I'm sorry if you can hear the 3D printer running in the background throughout this clip here. We're going to be running them nonstop, so it might be a common thing here in the LEGO studio now. Once again, thank you so much, Bamboo Lab, for sponsoring this video. I am an affiliate for Bamboo Lab, and my affiliate links are in the description and pinned comment below. You know what I never realized? I never realized how affordable it was to get into 3D printing. I always thought that these machines cost thousands of dollars, honestly. I was like, there's no way I'm going to 3D print. It's going to cost me thousands of dollars. That is not the case. The Bamboo Lab A1 Mini 3D printer starts at $199. It's the cost of a Lego set. If you want to get the A1 Mini with the AMS light, that's the thing that feeds the filament into the machine, it's $349. Really, you can get a 3D printer for the same cost as a Lego set. That to me is crazy. This is going to start a new hobby. That's wild. The A1 3D printer, that's the larger one, is $489, and that's with the combo. You don't need to get the combo. You can get the one that's $339. But still, I think that's quite reasonable for a 3D printer, especially after I see what they're doing today. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's wild. Now, granted, you do have to get the filament as well. And this, for example, is the filament which is on the spool. This is the white PLA Basic. It's $22.99. And if you want to get a refill, which I got too many of, I regret not getting one more spool, it's only $19.99, and you can get these in all different colors. So you can print whatever you want. I cannot wait to continue learning and continue printing, and I just can't get over the fact that these things are only $340. Like, this is an insane piece of equipment that is like printing things out of thin air. It is just boggling my mind. Once again, my affiliate link is in the pinned comment and description below. If you want to get into 3D printing, I would highly recommend these products. Well, there we go. I'd say the first print was a success. Look at that. So detailed. The print, so clean. Also, the scraper isn't solid. There's like a honeycomb structure in the inside. You can sort of see it. That's so neat. The color is sort of boring. That's my fault. Maybe I should have ordered some fun filament, but we got white. You know, that sort of matches the vibe that we're going for here in the LEGO studio. And you know what? I was actually laying base plates on the medieval tables while that was printing. So getting 2 things done at once. This is a quality little scraper right here. Like, look at that. That's incredible. I'm such a 3D printing noob. It's hilarious. I'm just amazed by this. Look at that. It's got the spot for the thumb right there, and also the guard on the back, and the cover as well. Like, that is just perfect. Nice little accessory, and you can print all sorts of accessories for these machines as well. So I should probably print a bunch of those, but I want to move on to custom designing some part bins for my storage systems. So LEGO has endless possibilities. Well, so does 3D printing. You can build pretty much anything. Look at that. There's the LEGO Flash Supersize. There's Cogsworth. There's so many cool things that people have come up with, and for the most part, this is all open source. You can print anything that you see here. It's so neat. People make like all these neat trinkets or a place to put band-aids, and it's just incredible. Well, maybe I did know that you can do things like this with 3D printers, but I never knew the world was so big and so open source. Like, that is just so cool. So I want to focus on improving my workspace for now, and then eventually I'll get into printing really cool things that are all like multicolored and crazy. But for now, I want to try and improve my workspace and print things that actually are going to help increase the efficiency in my studio. So up top here, I click on Make or Lap. And then I discovered this here. It said, make my desk organizer. And keep in mind, like, I've been looking at this website for maybe an hour at most. So, like, self-taught everything. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I assume I'm doing this right. And what I did was actually click on this, and it says, make my desk organizer. And you can create a new project, and I created this project right here. And this just looks like a basic square. But when I click on it, you can see the dimensions of everything here in this table. Sets all the dimensions of it, and right here you can see the 3D model of what I'm creating. So this is a little bin. It's got rounded corners. It's 2 by 2 by 2 inches essentially, and it's going to fit perfectly in my part storage drawers. And I want to print a bunch of stuff that's going to be like perfect for storing Lego and organizing Lego and sorting Lego, because there's so many different part varieties in Lego, and the more containers that I can have that fit perfectly into my system, the more efficient my system is going to become. So I think this is going to be my first custom print that I'm going to try, and I'm really excited about it. So this one's 2 by 2 inches. Of course, I could start a new project. I can make it circular if I want. There we go. Now we've got a circular container, and then we can adjust all the things down here. We want it to be, I don't know, 100 millimeters or 1,000 millimeters tall. Well, now look, if I open up on the 3D model, it's like, holy cow, we're printing this thing that's enormous. So you could just like tinker with all this stuff, and I just think that's so cool that you can pretty much build whatever you want. Of course, we're not going to do one that's 1,000 millimeters. That's wild. Now I want to move on to my first print here, which of course is going to be this bad boy right here. Let's do it. I'm just printing one, and this plate could handle like a bunch of those. Like I could probably fit, I don't know, at least 12 on this plate, and the printer can print all 12 at once. And these are going to be the new containers that I put in my drawers. Because that container there is 2 inches by 2 inches. Sure, these ones are nice, but look, I have all this wasted space and they move around. So my goal is to try and print perfect containers that fit exactly in this drawer. And this drawer here is actually 12 inches by 12 inches. So if I'm creating a 2 inch by 2 inch container, that means it'll be 6 by 6. I'll be able to fit 36 of those little mini containers per drawer. That's going to allow me to break up my colors, because right now I've got different shades of green mixed in together, different shades of blue mixed in together, and it's sort of a nuisance because to find the part that I'm actually looking for, I have to dump out the entire container. And because they're not a perfect fit, sometimes it looks pretty good right now. It doesn't always look like this, but sometimes when you go in there and you grab it or it overflows, you've got parts all around like the base of them. So it doesn't really look that good, or you got some that are overflowing into the other colors. So I think having a storage solution that can fit perfectly within these drawers is going to be optimal. Also, a lot of the storage containers that I have in here aren't the optimal height for these drawers. Like these are rather short, so I'm losing a bunch of space, like almost half the space in this drawer that can be utilized. So when I 3D print these, I can make them the exact height of the drawer. I'm actually going to make them a little bit short, but you can make them tall so that they fit perfectly in there, utilizing the most amount of space possible in these drawers. Now I decided to get all white filament because whichever drawers I replace these containers with, it's going to be all white. Rather than having like red and blue and green, I don't think that would look as clean as all white, because you got to think you're going to see the white container in the foreground. So I think it was better to go with that. But yeah, it's just going to increase the efficiency with storage here in the studio. We're no longer going to have all this wasted space, and it's just going to work a lot better because I can fit a lot more containers per drawer. With that said though, I can also print other sizes. So these drawers, like I mentioned, are 12 by 12 inch, so I can go 4 by 4, 6 by 6, 12 by 6. I can print anything that printer can handle. Also, I want to improve all of my storage. Like this, no, this sucks, right? This down here, not good at all. I need to start printing containers that will be perfect fit for all the storage solutions that I have in the studio. It's gonna be next level. Let's have a browse through some of the Lego models that people have come up with. Look at that, there's a Boba Fett, Lego hands, a large sorting tray, which is actually shaped like a minifigure, some other sorting trays, a giant goat, got some oversized bricks, which are actually drawer units, train track.
That's something I want to look into. Can I print train track that's like 4 studs to replace those god-awful flexi tracks? That would be super cool. You got all sorts of minifigures, minifig stands as well. Like you can display a bunch of minifigs on there. Some oversized pieces, of course. Yeah, like people have thought of it all. Look at these huge studs, these giant letters up there. A skeleton. I actually have a 3D printed skeleton, like an oversized skeleton, in my collection. I got it from one of my local stores here. Also stands for sets and hands and a head. So costume related things. There's also a brick travel case. There's just everything that you can imagine. So it's pretty cool. And the fact that this is all open source is like just interesting to know that people just design the stuff and you can print it. I think that is so cool. There's so many cool things that I want to print. Oh my gosh. I am excited to embark on this 3D printing journey, that's for sure. As you saw earlier, I ordered 2 additional colors, tan and black. You know what I want to print? This right here. Isn't that cool? It's an oversized battle droid. I specifically ordered those colors for this. I for sure got to print at least one of these, maybe 3 or 4 though. That's so cool. It comes with the blaster and the droid. Not bad at all. I think this is going to be just as easy to print as my containers. All I have to do is open in the studio and then export it to my machine right from the computer here.
So here's the end results of my 3D printed container. Look at that. It's perfect. That's awesome. Look at all the studs in there. I will say though, this size is only good for one color, unless you're going to dump it all out. But this is going to be good because what I'm going to do is actually replace these, because these are sort of annoying. They're like 4 or subdivided into 4, which is good, but if you want to dump out one section, it makes it rather difficult. I would rather replace those with 4 of these, which are like the perfect size for these drawers, and then eventually replace all of these as well. I quickly whipped up a new file which had 5 more of those containers, so it's going to print 5 altogether. You can fit a lot on this, but I just want to try and get 5 more printed before I go home for the day. I can't stop watching this thing work. It's incredible. There's no question about it though, I need to upgrade my table. It is shaking. It's shaking in its boots here. This is crazy. It's so fast. I never knew that 3D printers were this fast. Honestly, these have got to be, well, from what I've read, these have got to be some of the best printers, or the best printers for beginners, because it was so easy. I had no 3D printing experience going into this, and look at me go. Who would have thought? I never would have thought. I thought it was some sort of advanced art, but I guess not. I actually started building the Legend of Zelda Lego set while the 3D printer was taking care of business over here, and check it out. We've got 6 containers now. That just worked out beauty. I can't wait to build a whole tray worth, or print a whole tray worth. So here's some facts about the printing process. It took 2 hours and 24 minutes to print 5 of them. There's 93 grams of filament. So let's call it 100 grams of filament. And this spool right here is 1 kilogram, so that's 1,000 grams. So I could technically print over 50 of these per spool of filament in any color that the filament comes in. So 50 of these for the cost of a spool, and when you buy the spools in bulk, it costs $14 US. So 50 of these for $14 US. And they're exactly what you want. You can print them to any size, any dimension, any shape. And I just think that's not bad at all. 50 of these for 14 bucks? That's perfect. But there is one hidden cost as well, and that is the energy that this machine consumes while it's printing. There's a bunch of other projects that I want to work on in regards to 3D printing. First off, I want to continue printing more of these containers because I think they're awesome, and I want to do all different sizes for these. Something else that I want to print is a custom funnel that's designed for putting Lego in bags or in small containers, because a lot of the time I have my pieces on the table and I'm trying to funnel them manually into this bag, and more end up on the floor than in the bag, especially if it's a small bag. So if I can custom print a funnel that you would never find anywhere else, it's wide at the top and then the bottom is like this big, so I can just put that into a bag and then Lego would fall into the funnel and into the bag and you wouldn't miss any. I think that would be a real treat. And then of course I want to print that droid. I think that droid is a super cool thing to print, and maybe some other minifigure stuff, and then some stuff related to just the office as well, such as a headphone holder. I saw this one design. It was actually a Lego hand that was holding the headphones. That was cool. Or there's some generic ones that went up and your headphones go on it, like the big over-the-ear headphones. You got a spot to put them by your desk there. And then there was a bunch of stuff related to cable management, pretty much anything. You can 3D print anything, and I think that's what's so neat. The things that you would never be able to buy, you can 3D print. And that's the unique part about it. Let's see how these containers fit in the drawer. How satisfying is that? Sort of exactly what I was envisioning there. That's sweet. So I'll be able to fit 36 per drawer. The issue is these drawers, they're 12 inches wide, but they're actually a little bit like deeper. So they're a little bit over. But I don't want to make these not a perfect square. I think that would be weird. So I've got this weird spot here in the front, which is about 1 inch by 12 inches. So I could create a custom container or just filler that's 1 inch by 12 inches and stick that on the back of the drawer. But I don't know. I don't think I'm going to mess with the dimensions of these because they're pretty much perfect. So that's pretty sweet. Imagine when I get 36 of them printed for this drawer and for the other drawers, such as these right here. So I can isolate all these different colors individually, and also these. Isolate all these colors individually. It's just going to be way better. So what do you think of my new hobby, everybody? Is it right up there with Lego? I'll admit it. It is. Like, this is pretty cool. I had no idea that 3D printing was so easy. Like, I've never done it before. And look what I was able to achieve on day one. We got the printer set up and we were designing and printing in one day. That is just crazy. And honestly, I never knew it was affordable. Like, it's relatively affordable. One of these printers costs as much as not even a high-end Lego set, not even a UCS Millennium Falcon, a mid-range Lego set, which is just mind-boggling to me. Because look at this thing. It's like magic. I had no idea it was so easy and so affordable. And once you get the equipment, filament, if you buy it in bulk, is $14 for a kilogram, which goes a long way. That's just, I had no idea. I had no idea. So thank you so much, Bamboo Lab, for sponsoring this video. I think you just unlocked an incredible hobby for me, and I hope a lot of people out there, because I think a lot of people are like me. They had no idea. They didn't know anything about 3D printing, and I had no idea it was this easy. Like this is just crazy. That's genuinely the truth right there. Wow. Stay tuned for more, because we're going to be printing some really cool stuff here for the LEGO Studio, and I could not be more excited about it. Thank you so much for coming on by. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Farewell.